You're listening to The Unseen Scars. This is a space for real voices, real pain, and real stories that often go unheard. Tonight's story is about the moment the world tilts on its axis. It comes from a man who came home early from work one day, a day that started like any other, and found a truth waiting for him in his own driveway. A truth that shattered everything. He wrote to us, and his story is called Her Boss's Car Outside Our House. Let's start the story without any further delay. I don't know why I'm writing this. My brother sent me the link, said it might help. I don't see how. Putting it into words just makes it more real. And I don't want it to be real. But I can't sleep. It's been 3 weeks and I haven't slept more than an hour at a time. So I'm just sitting here in the dark, in a room that isn't mine, typing. Okay. It was a Tuesday. I remember that. It was raining. That misty, annoying kind of rain that isn't heavy enough for the fast setting on the windshield wipers, but too heavy for the slow one. So you're constantly clicking it back and forth. It's stupid what you remember. The meeting with the concrete supplier was canceled, last minute. Something about a batch failing the pressure test. I'm a project manager for a commercial construction firm. My days are schedules and Gantt charts and everything having a logical place. A canceled meeting meant a 3-hour hole in my afternoon. I could have gone back to the office, I should have, but I just thought, screw it, I'll go home. Surprise Anna. We could, I don't know, just hang out, watch a movie. Something we hadn't done in a while. The whole drive home, I was thinking about it. That little smile she does when I do something unexpected. Maybe I'd pick up some of that Thai food she likes from the place by the station. I was actually feeling good. Happy. For the first time in a while, maybe. Our street is called Maple Drive. There aren't any maples on it, just oaks. We used to joke about that. It's a quiet street. Suburban cliché. Kids' bikes left on lawns, people mowing on Saturdays. We bought the house 7 years ago. A small 3-bedroom ranch. We painted the shutters ourselves, a dark forest green. It took us a whole weekend, and we got more paint on ourselves than on the wood. We were so proud of that house. Our house. I turned onto our street, and that's when I saw it. The car. A silver Lexus ES 350. I know the model because he'd bragged about it at the company holiday party last Christmas. David Albright, her boss, head of marketing. The guy with the perfect teeth and the expensive watch. The guy who was always calling her after hours about some urgent campaign detail. It was parked right there, in our driveway, behind her blue CRV, tucked in close, like it belonged there. My first thought wasn't what you'd think. It wasn't anger. It was confusion. Just, why? Why is David's car here at 2:30 on a Tuesday afternoon? Maybe he was dropping something off. A file. A laptop. It had happened once before, on a Sunday. He'd come to the door, all smiles, holding a manila folder. Said he was just in the neighborhood. Anna had seemed flustered. I thought it was weird then, but I let it go. You let things go. You trust your wife. But this time, the rain, the gray sky, the silence of the street, it felt different. My stomach went cold. I didn't pull into the driveway. I couldn't. I just kept driving slowly, right past my own house. I glanced at the front window as I passed. The curtains were drawn. Not all the way, but mostly. I drove to the end of the block, turned around in the cul-de-sac, and came back. I parked about 4 houses down, on the other side of the street. under one of the big oak trees. I turned the engine off. The only sound was the clicking of the wipers I forgot to turn off and the rain on the roof. I just sat there for maybe 10 minutes, 20. I don't know. Time just sort of stopped. I was trying to build a logical explanation in my head, a project manager's brain. There's an emergency at work, a huge crisis. He had to come over to work on it with her from home because the office internet is down. Yes, that's it. It's a work thing. They're probably in the kitchen, laptops open, stressed out. I was telling myself this over and over, a mantra against the truth. But I knew. God, I think I knew for months. I just didn't let myself see it. The late nights that started becoming more frequent, the way she'd angle her phone away from me when a text came in, the new perfume she started wearing, the distance, the feeling that I was living with a roommate, not the woman I married, the woman who, on our first date, spilled an entire glass of red wine on my white shirt and was so horrified she tried to clean it with a salt shaker and a napkin right there in the restaurant. I fell in love with her right then. Her chaotic energy, her laugh. Where did that go? When did it leave? I got out of my car. I didn't have a plan. I just started walking back towards my house. My house. It didn't look like my house anymore. It looked like a set piece, a place where some other guy's life was about to fall apart. The rain was soaking my hair, running down my collar. I didn't care. I didn't go to the front door. I walked across the lawn, the grass squishing under my dress shoes. I went to the side of the house, to the living room window. There's a big hydrangea bush there that we planted our first spring. I remember arguing about the color. She wanted the blue flowers, I wanted the pink. She won. They were blue. I stood behind the bush, my heart hammering against my ribs so hard I thought it would break them. I could feel the wet leaves against my cheek. I angled my head just right to see through the little gap in the curtains she'd left. And there they were. They were on the couch. Our couch, the one we spent a month picking out, the gray sectional we'd paid for on an installment plan for a year. He wasn't forcing himself on her. She wasn't crying. There was no drama. It was worse than that. It was normal, casual. They were just sitting there. He was talking and she was laughing. That real laugh, the one I hadn't heard in so long, the one that starts in her belly and makes her eyes crinkle up. He had his arm along the back of the couch, his hand resting on her shoulder. His thumb was stroking her neck, and she was leaning into it, into him. I watched as he leaned in and kissed her. It wasn't a frantic, passionate kiss. It was slow, familiar, like they'd done it 1,000 times. And she kissed him back. Her hand went up to his chest. I should have felt rage. I should have wanted to smash the window, to run in there and scream. I should have done something, but I did nothing. I was frozen. It was like watching a movie. My body was disconnected from my brain. I was just an observer. I saw the way the lamp on the end table cast a warm glow on them. I saw the stack of mail I'd left on the coffee table that morning. I saw the framed photo of our wedding day on the mantle, just over his shoulder. Us, smiling, clueless, happy. The most painful part wasn't the kiss. It was what happened after. He pulled back and said something, and she playfully pushed his shoulder. They were comfortable, happy. Two people in love, sitting on a couch on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. In my house. In my life. I backed away from the window. I didn't make a sound. I walked back across the wet grass, my shoes ruined. I got back in my car. My hands were shaking so much I could barely get the key in the ignition. I started driving. I had no idea where I was going. I just drove. An hour later, I was in a Walmart parking lot 20 miles away. My phone buzzed. I looked at the screen. It was her. The text said, "Hey, stuck in traffic, going to be a little late. Do you mind grabbing some milk on your way home? Love you, X." The "love you, X" was what broke me. Not the scene through the window, not the car in the driveway. It was that casual, easy lie, typed out while he was probably still in our house. Maybe he was even sitting next to her when she sent it. The sheer, breathtaking disrespect of it. I didn't just feel betrayed, I felt erased. Like the 7 years we'd built, the house, the inside jokes, the fights about the dishwasher, the Sunday mornings with coffee and the newspaper, none of it was real. It was all a story I'd been telling myself, and she was in a different story altogether. I think back to when we met, at a friend's barbecue. She was arguing with someone about the proper way to grill a burger. She was so fiery and passionate about this stupid thing. I was immediately hooked. We talked for hours. It felt like I'd known her forever. We moved in together after 6 months, got married a year after that. It was fast, but it felt right. Everyone said it felt right. When did the cracks start? I've been replaying every moment for the past 3 weeks. Was it last year when she started going on all those work trips? The ones she was always too tired to talk about when she got back? Was it when she stopped initiating things in bed? I told myself it was stress. Her job was demanding. I tried to be a good husband. I took on more of the chores, cooked dinner most nights so she could decompress. I was trying to make her life easier. But I wasn't making her life easier. I was just making her affair more convenient. What a fool. I feel like such a goddamn fool. That night, I didn't go home. I turned my phone off. I drove to my brother's house. He lives about an hour away. He opened the door at 11 p.m. and saw my face and just said, man, come in." He didn't ask questions, just gave me a beer and a blanket for the couch. I finally turned my phone back on around 2 a.m. 37 missed calls, a dozen texts. "Where are you? Are you okay? Mark, I'm getting worried. Please just call me." Worry. Right. We had the conversation the next day. I met her at a coffee shop, a neutral place. I couldn't do it in the house. I can't even call it our house anymore. It's just the house. She cried. Of course she cried. She said it was a mistake, that it didn't mean anything, that she was confused. All the things you're supposed to say. But I looked in her eyes and the woman I married wasn't there. There was just a stranger. A stranger who had looked at her boss with a love and intimacy she hadn't shown me in years. "How long?" I asked. My voice didn't even sound like my own. She wouldn't look at me, stared into her latte like it held all the answers. "About 6 months. On and off. On and off. 6 months. Half a year of my life was a lie. All those nights I came home to an empty house thinking she was slaving away at the office. All those times she was distant and I blamed myself, thought I was doing something wrong, not being attentive enough. I was trying harder while she was checking out. The worst part is the details. I can't stop thinking about the details. Did he bring her coffee in the morning? Did they use our bed? Our shower? Did they eat the leftovers I'd made from the fridge? The questions are like acid in my brain. They just keep burning. Edit. Someone I talked to, my brother's friend, he said I should be angry. I should be throwing things. But I'm not. I'm just empty. It's a hollowed out feeling like someone reached inside my chest and just scooped everything out. Sometimes a wave of anger will hit me, a hot flash of rage so intense I feel dizzy. I'll imagine driving my car into his Lexus. I'll imagine screaming at her until my voice is gone. But then it just vanishes, and the emptiness comes back. It's worse than the anger. It's nothing. She wants to try therapy, couples counseling. She says we can fix this. We have too much history to just throw it away, she said. History. It feels like she took our history and set it on fire. How do you fix that? How do you unsee what I saw through that window? The image is burned into my mind. Her smile. His hand on her neck. It plays on a loop. I'm staying at my brother's, sleeping on his couch that smells like his dog. All my stuff is still at the house. My clothes, my books, my life. I can't bring myself to go back there. I drove past it yesterday. His car wasn't there. Her car was. I just saw the green shutters we painted and felt sick. I don't know what comes next. I know what I'm supposed to do. Call a lawyer, file for divorce, start over. But how do you start over at 37? We don't have kids, thank God. That's the one small mercy in this whole mess. But our lives were completely tangled together. Our friends, our finances, our future. We were supposed to go to Italy next year. We'd been saving for it for 2 years. I miss her. That's the truly pathetic part. I hate her for what she did. I hate her for lying to my face. I hate her for making me feel like nothing. But I still miss the woman she was. Or the woman I thought she was. I miss her sleeping next to me. I miss the sound of her key in the door. I miss having someone to tell about my day, even if she wasn't really listening. Is that love? Or is it just habit? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. All I know is that it was a Tuesday, it was raining, and a canceled meeting showed me that my entire life was a lie. I wish I'd just gone back to the office. I really, really wish I'd just stayed at work. That's where Mark's story ends, for now. Thank you, Mark, for trusting us with this. To everyone listening, thanks for being here. We'll be back with another story soon.